little rainbows. I want to get on here today and I want to talk about the fear of turning 65. I cannot believe that in 5 months I'm going to be 65. It's just crazy. Like, where did the time go? That's what I just want to know. Where did that time go? But, along with that, there's a lot of things that that I think about, and things that, worry me, health issues, because as you get older, of course, they warn if you get the flu, if you get COVID, if you get anything, as you get older, it's harder to fight off. I worry about increased healthcare costs. Recovery times take longer to, if you fall and you break your leg or you break a hip or whatever, it takes longer to heal than it does if when you were 30 or 40 or even 50, and, sometimes loneliness comes in because sometimes our kids move away and, we're left by ourselves. And, it's a thing that you want your kids to experience life, and you want to give them, their wings to fly, but at the same time, sometimes you're just lonely, when they've gone. And, it's just ageism too, like aging out of the workforce and things like that. But, so there's a lot of things in turning 65 that, that I know, that I worry about. And I'm sure that there's a lot of other people that worry about a lot of the same things, But at the same time, I also have to say that I can't just sit and worry what's going to happen, So it just comes to that point where you've just got to really start enjoying some of the perks of being 65, So I have just a few of, a few things that, for some reason, my pages are sticking together here and they don't want to let me read them. And, so one of the perks of turning 65 is I get Medicare. So, which, that's a good thing. I don't know, honestly, everything that Medicare pays. I know my husband had Medicare for a short time, and, we never got bills. So, I don't know exactly everything that Medicare pays. And actually there's, it's funny because yesterday or the day before I'd gone to the post office and I hadn't checked our mail in probably 3 weeks because our post office moved, and I just have not felt like getting dressed and going there to pick up our mail. So it's been about 3 weeks since I checked my mail. So when I went there, I had this whole pile of mail. Now, normally, if I check my mailbox every day, I get maybe 1 or 2 pieces, and it probably a couple times a week. There's absolutely nothing there. So I go to pick up my mail, and I'm telling you, the mail was like stacked like this. And I'm like, holy mackerel, what is all this mail? Well, I don't know how many things were from AARP. I had 3 invitations to dinner and lunch to learn about Medicare. I had 2 invitations to lunch or dinner to learn about cremation. And I had 2 invitations to learn about estate planning. I can tell you, I think after I went through my mail, I was majorly depressed. But, if I wasn't feeling old, I sure was after I got all the mail. But I'm like, holy mackerel, it's like they know when you're turning 65. My goodness, they come out of the woodwork, So, but anyway, let's get past that. So anyway, Medicare eligibility. That's one thing. That's good. Senior discounts. Hey, I go to Bob Evans, or I go to Golden Corral, or anywhere I go. Denny's. Denny's, I get I get a senior discount. I get free coffee. I think Baskin Robbins, I get a free scoop of ice cream on my birthday. So you got all these discounts that are really all over the place. All you have to do is ask, and they'll tell you, whether they offer discounts or not. I do know that sometimes through Social Security, now I'm not 100% on this, but sometimes through Social Security you can they no longer charge you taxes. So I don't know, maybe able to. I'll definitely have to check that out, when I file, and see if I do get taxed on my Social Security check. I seen cheaper travel. So, when I fly somewhere or, whatever, make sure that I mention that I'm a senior and you can get 10%. They sometimes actually move you up in seating if you're a senior. So that's something you could check out. Learning opportunities. I could not believe when I, went into Google and looked up stuff, for seniors. There are so many classes that offer things for free. I mean, you can learn everything from how to crochet a scarf, to learning to play guitar, learning to speak in another language. I mean, it shows you woodworking, it shows you crocheting, it does, all this stuff that I never knew was there until, I really looked it up. But there's a lot of things to do. And there's 3 things that I know that a lot of our younger generation doesn't know. How to tell time on a clock with hands. I can tell time on a clock with hands. My grandchildren can't tell time on a clock with hands. And I was like, how could you not know how to tell time? But you know what? They said they weren't taught that in school. But, I can do math without a calculator. If I have addition or subtraction or division or, multiplication, whatever, I sit and I do it on paper. And to look at some younger people, they're like, how do you do that? A good portion of them don't know how to give change at a grocery store or McDonald's. If if their register goes down, how do you give change? And many of us boomers, as I've been called in the past, we have our own secret code in writing. So if you want to write something that you don't want a younger person to understand, write it in cursive, because they have no clue. I personally think that's sad because I don't know. When I was a kid, I loved writing in cursive. And it just surprised me one day that I seen somebody say to someone about signing their check, and they said, "Excuse me." They said, "You have to sign it in cursive." And the person looked and said, "I don't know how." And it was like, wow. Like, what are they doing in the schools? What are they teaching these kids? But I can't believe that they don't teach cursive anymore. So, but anyway, so those are the pros and the cons of turning 65. It's not going to be so bad. Not going to be as bad as I thought it was anyway. So, look at the positives. So, I gotta tell you, I read this story the other day, and I'm gonna read it to you, and it's gonna end my video. But I just thought it was funny because it's like, you ever look in the mirror and you're like, who is that person looking back at me? Because it's not me. Where did I go? And, you know, you almost, you still have the mind that you're 30 or 40, but however, you're 60 and 65 and 70. It's like, where did that time disappear to? So anyway, I read this story. By the way, I know, I do it all the time. I never introduce myself. My name is Carol. You can call me Mom, call me Mom Carol. I answer to any of them. But anyway, so yes, my name is Carol. So, okay. And this story kind of corresponds with what I was just talking about looking in the mirror. A strange old lady had moved into my house. I have no idea who she is, where she came from, or how she got in. I certainly did not invite her. All I know is that one day she wasn't there and the next day she was. She's a clever old lady and manages to keep out of sight for the most part, but whenever I pass a mirror, I catch a glimpse of her. And whenever I look in the mirror to check my appearance, there she is, hogging the whole thing, completely obliterating my gorgeous face and body. This is very rude. I have tried screaming at her, but she just screams back. The least she could do is offer to pay part of the bills, but no. Every once in a while, I find a $5 bill stuck in a coat pocket or some loose change under a sofa cushion, but it's not nearly enough. And I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I think she's stealing money from me. I go to the ATM and withdraw $50, and a few days later, it's gone. I certainly don't spend money that fast, so I can only conclude the old lady is pilfering from me. You'd think she would spend some of that money to buy wrinkle cream. And money isn't the only thing she is stealing. Food seems to be disappearing at an alarming rate, especially the good stuff like ice cream and sweets. She must have a real sweet tooth, but she better watch it because she's really packing on the pounds. I suspect she realizes this too, and to make herself better, she's tampering with my scale to think I'm putting on weight too. For an old lady, she is quite childish. She likes to play nasty games like going into my wardrobe when I'm not home and altering my clothes so they don't fit. And she messes with my files and papers so I can't find anything. This is particularly annoying since I'm extremely neat and organized. She has found other imaginative ways to annoy me. She gets into my mail, newspapers, and magazines before I do and blurs the print so I can't read it. And now she has done something really sinister to the volumes on my TV, radio, and telephone. Now all I hear is mumbles and whispers. She has done other things like made my stairs steeper, my vacuum heavier, and all the knobs and taps harder to turn. She even made my bed higher, so I have a problem getting in and out of it now. It's become a real challenge. Lately, she's been fooling with my groceries before I put them away. applying glue to the lids, making it almost possible for me to open the jars. She has taken the fun out of shopping for clothes. When I try to put something on, she stands in front of the dressing room mirror and monopolizes it. She looks totally ridiculous in some of those outfits. Plus, she keeps me from seeing how great they look on me. Just when she thought she couldn't get any meaner, she proved me wrong. Just when I thought she couldn't get any meaner, she proved me wrong. She came along and I went to get my picture taken for my driver's license. Just as the camera shutter clicked, she jumped right in front of me. I hope she never finds where you live. So I just thought that was really a cute story. I didn't write this. Somebody else wrote it. Kudos to whoever did write it. But anyway, that's how I am going to end this video for the day. So I hope that I will see you again real soon. Well, it sounded a little bit Disney-ish there. So, but 3 things before I leave, I ask. Number 1, if you are not subscribed to this channel, subscribe. I need all the subscribers I can get. I love all you guys. Number 2, look around your room, look around your car, wherever you're at this moment. Find something to make you smile. It might be your dog, it might be your kids, it might be a meme that you seen earlier today, but there's got to be something, just one thing, that makes you smile. And number 3, as always, find your rainbow through the rain. Bye!